my name is Psycho, and I'm here live, and we're live on Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, and Twitter, and everything now says getting notifications. Um, so let's get down to it. Today, I'm going to be talking to you guys about Broken Home 8 that happened at the D-Day Adventure Park up in Oklahoma. It's a 10-hour drive from San Antonio. And it happened on May 25th through the 26th, which was this past weekend. So, real quick, guys, I do want to acknowledge the fact that yesterday was Memorial Day, and thank you for everybody who honored everybody that actually did pay the ultimate sacrifice from our fallen heroes. So we never forget about that. Without further ado, let's go ahead and get into the event itself. So, if you guys didn't see what was going on already with Oklahoma, so we had a bunch of rain coming throughout the entire couple of past weeks, maybe even months. So me and Raptor, we ended up taking his vehicle all the way up to Oklahoma, and as soon as we got into it, I mean, you just see like the giant ponds and rivers, and everything was just overflown water everywhere. So you would picture that there was going to be a lot of mosquitoes or stuff like that, but there wasn't. But there are a lot of houses underwater here, as you can tell. This is some of the where the ravines were coming down on the slopes and stuff. So this is Overwatch Tactics. Thank you to my boy William Soto for allowing us to actually crash out at his place on Thursday, I believe. Thursday night over to Friday, um, because he has his trailer, right, and then we convoy from his trailer to the event. And on the way, you just see all kinds of cool stuff. I mean, we saw speed traps everywhere. So it is Memorial Day weekend, guys. So there's a lot of stuff going on as far as people driving to places, and they don't mess around when it comes to these speed traps. Especially in Oklahoma, as soon as we got in, there was like 5 or 7 vehicles on the right side of the lane. On the opposite side, there was 5, and then on top of the bridge, there was like 3 motorcycle police officers. So they were on it. So we ended up getting to William's house, and he offered for us to stay in his trailer. They fed us. It was awesome. His trailer is really cool. It got like the VIP kind of access as far as being able not to have to sleep underneath the stars, which is kind of cool. And we stayed dry pretty much overnight when we were sleeping. So we're gonna get to that here in a second. All right, so we end up convoying there, and then we see like a space shuttle from NASA on the side of the road, and like we're going through these back roads from Soto's house to the event, and I'm like, "Yo, did you see that?" Because I'm really freaking out because the pod was actually open, and it's like, what came out? We don't know. I mean, Soto said it could have been like a tornado or something that picked it up from a museum and then dropped it off there. There was no burn marks or anything like that, but it was a space pod, and it was just sitting there on the side of the road. I thought it was just like a trailer on the side and stuff, but then until you got closer, then you can actually see the pod. That was pretty crazy. So this whole entire weekend was really awesome, um, and I want to talk to you guys more about that here in a second, as far as what about it was awesome. Okay, so here we're going through, and now the scenery's starting to change, right? From Soto's house, it's pretty. You got like these huge, massive plots of land, just like in Texas, but you got some hills and stuff. That's a lot of greenery everywhere there, and the scenery starts to change here. As you can tell, the roads start getting real thin. There is no shoulder for you to pull off on, and then you're starting to see these real steep and tall trees, right? So this is one of the streams that we passed through right here. Let me show you guys right here. Okay, that's Raptor, my boy Raptor. He's driving big kudos to him for driving the entire way. And I was just talking my head off, sharing everything that we had to share. And he's pointing, and he's pointing out because he's been here at Broken Home 6, and he was actually telling me some of the stories and stuff that was a creek that he went into because of all the ticks that were on them, and the creek was freshwater, so it like all the coldness, he could feel all the ticks coming off of him. There's the DD Adventure Park sign. So at this point in time, we're starting to go into the actual property, right? And you're starting to see like these vehicles and stuff. And there's Soto's trailer there in his truck. He's hauling it. And here's the DD Adventure Park entryway, right? And as you guys can see right here, let me show you guys. Um, this right here, this is the AMS tent, and that's like their pro shop. Amped Airsoft was the people that were vending for this event, so they did really awesome with making sure everybody had everything they needed, whether it was bandages, whether it was hydration kits, plate carriers, whatever it is that you needed. They were there to supply it, and they drove further than we did, because I think they're stationed way farther. Enola Gay was there. Lots of vendors were there. Elite Force was there also. So KWA, big ups to KWA, man. We ended up parking right next to them, and Greg and his wife, their hospitality as far as feeding us every night, that was really awesome. That was something that was unexpected, and I think I'm gonna get to that here in a second. All right, but thank you so much. I couldn't say thank you enough while we're there. Again, thank you guys for doing more than just showing up and showing your guns. You know what I mean? And that's what I'm gonna get to. But here, this is the chrono station is actually like 110 over. KWA is right here in the center. They're showing their guns. They're the stuff that we seen at SHOT Show. And on this table here, they actually set up targets. And they were pretty much head size targets as far as they would show you. This is 50 feet, 100 feet, 150 feet, and they had two sets of that. And this is Raptor dialing his the battle hardened sniper rifle that shot forever far with 4.8s, and he was way under his joule limit. So that way, you guys can say, here's America, and this is our close friend, the man, Mr. Woodcock. Here's Soto right here. Here's Lone Wolf, also part of Overwatch Tactics, and this is Stone. So and he's trying to dial in his grouping, his spread, right? Because he's shooting the LMG. That's a Crytek LMG, guys, that he's shooting, and you just hear him like, and you hear him hitting on the actual. I can't read that right now. Let me see if I can bring this up closer so I can see. I can actually read it. I think it's a sub. I for whatever reason I can't read that, so I'm gonna have to work on that later. But yeah, so thank you for watching on YouTube or Twitch if you're watching. I haven't really got into it. We've been working really hard on other things. I did take the MTW out there, and the MTW ended up taking a doo doo. And it was funny because as soon as I chronoed it, you heard it. It was leaking from one of the cylinders. I think I just got debris in it, and maybe one of the O-rings. Let me click on one of these pictures here. All right, let's do this again. All right. All right, so here's the MTW, and I ended up not having to use it. This sucker went far. Like, it was perfect. We had it dialed in like nobody's business. I really can't see that. Man, I don't know what's going on with this setup right now. Thank you though for commenting. I will get back to you as soon as I can. So I got the MTW going, right, and I took the MTW because I wanted to go lightweight. I didn't wear my plate carrier out there, and I had the Viper hood, and I didn't want to have to carry a tank on my back. So the MTW was the best decision to take out there. It's just that, it worked at War Games. It worked. It worked at in the field. We tested everything. It just so happened that it just didn't work. We tried to take it apart out there, but you could only do so much when you're out there in the field. So this is a good reason for you guys to see that whenever you plan on going to an event, you always want to have a secondary, right? Everybody wants to have that one gun that does it all. And this is a perfect example. Raptor ended up taking two bolt actions. One was an HPA system and one was a spring powered. Just in case, you never know what happens, right? And he signed up as a sniper and I signed up um, as a rifleman because I was a spotter, and we ended up, you know, having two separate deals here. So that way, if something like this happened, we were able to be prepared for it, right? So this is our setup. We're over here back at the tent, and we're checking all our stuff. Hey guys, so real quick, I want to touch about this. Okay, so this is a spray that you get at Walmart for like 12, $13, depending on where you live. Um, at the most, probably $14, right? And this can here gets you like four complete outfits, meaning your top, your bottoms, and your socks. So we sprayed that, and it takes 24 hours in order for it to take an effect, right? So, and it's supposed to be good up to 6 weeks. So spray all your kit, spray everything that you can. Now this works off of chiggers, mosquitoes. I got the can somewhere. I think it's downstairs. But we sprayed our not so much our socks. We put the little spray with DEET. We ended up spraying our socks, our gloves, but we did spray our packs. We did spray our kit and stuff like that. Um, 24 hours prior to the actual event. I ended up spraying it like a whole week before. So I didn't really have any issues at all with ticks and even triggers, man. So I was fine. This happened right before the event. So I ended up sliding. I tried catching myself and I ripped my hand and I got a big gash right here. Not enough for stitches, but it was pretty wide. So one, my MTW wasn't working, which was my go-to gun, right? Now I got to carry I didn't have to carry a 90 with me, but I wanted to carry a 90 because, target-rich environment, you got X amount of players and you want to make sure you have enough because it is a long, long hike back to, your fob or whatever it is that you're trying to do. And if you guys know how Scar fights, we like to have everything that's on us to be everything that we need for the entire event. So for those of you guys that are wondering what happened to my hand, there you go. So I did gash my hand pretty bad, but right before the event, put my Vulcan, Zulu gloves. I put these on, and I wrapped it up, cleaned it up, and thank you again to Soto for having his first aid kit readily available for me to be able to patch that up real quick. So thank you so much for that, and it's fine. It still works. Obviously it worked. I made it through the entire weekend. Um. So again, guys, that's how that works. We had off, so we sprayed our face, we sprayed our arms, we sprayed our hands. Anything that was skin exposed, we had no. Raptor ended up getting like 18 ticks on him. Again, he did it like right the night before, so maybe the spray didn't really take into an effect. But he ended up finding. But they're all kind of dead, so it kind of worked, but it kind of didn't. So make sure you plan ahead for whatever event, whether you play outside, whether you're in Texas, Oklahoma, whether you're doing TCA, Overwatch, or AMS or Milsim West. Whether you play outside, you want to spray this stuff on your kit or on your clothes, on your uniforms, because it works. So we had like an insecticide in the Marine Corps that they would wash our uniforms in, and then they were good for whatever how many weeks. I'm pretty sure it's probably this stuff, and then after a while, like after so many washes, it just kind of fades away, and you end up losing it. Um, and usually, whenever you buy uniforms on base and stuff, they already have it already in the actual fabric. So this is news to me, and hey, it worked out for me. I had 0 ticks, and thank you, Raptor, for checking. I'm just kidding. Um, That was pretty cool. So you know we're here representing. We got the Odin right there. We got our that's the Odin speed loader. So we were able to fill up my mags pretty quick. I ended up overpacking really to tell you the truth. I ended up taking the plate carrier just in case, but I didn't ever use it. And I have my Ronin battle belt. Honestly, if I had the choice, I would have. I think I went through 2 mags the entire weekend. But because of the role that we were in, we got the 2 extra tanks here and stuff for the. So we're passing by, and I see this tank, and they got these really cool structures out there. Um, so the word here, guys, is that this Broken Home 8 was the last uh, Broken Home that was going to be hosted here at by AMS at this event at the D-Day Adventure Park because I think the owner's gonna sell it. So if you missed it, you missed it. I'm sorry, guys. Hopefully, it's not the end, so that way you guys can see the treacherous field out there. It was awesome, man. Me and Raptor went down the on Saturday up and down the ravine like six or 7 times. So we didn't play in any of this part. This part right here. This was the safety brief area. So we went in there and Bo was giving the safety brief here, and he's just giving everybody the lowdown of what's going on. How everything works for AMS events, and his Raptor. We end up going to the Elite Force booth, and we were checking out the guns and stuff, and they were pretty cool and showing us that stuff. Hey, this is our happy home right here. So that's KWA. That's right there to the left, and then on the right is Overwatch Tactics, and then our little bitty tent, the orange tent right there. That's where we were at. But everything was there, so pretty cool. And here we're testing out the actual. Obviously, you can't tell because of the gray shirt, right? But we're testing out the actual the ghillie hood. Okay, so this is our map, and this is the entire AO, right? But we ended up shrinking down to certain areas to where it was like our focal point, kind of like how we do for war games, where depending on the amount of players, we're gonna shrink down to this field, and then we're gonna relocate and stuff like that. But the focal points were pretty much in the more battle area, so to speak. So you got the buildings and stuff, or the structures were there for you to fight in, and then you had the ravine and stuff. So that way, if you wanted to go to the woods, you could, but you couldn't because me and Raptor and I were down, up over the ravine, and you guys will see us here in a minute. There's the map, and there's our battle plans and stuff. So there we are with our multi-camp tropic, and our setup. Uh, so we were the Rogue One squad, and I'm not giving the after action report over the entire event as far as how it went down. UFS versus cost and this, that, and the other. This is more of the after action report from Rogue One slash Cyclone Raptor squad, and what everything really meant to me as far as why I needed this event and why you guys need to support your event host. Okay, so here we got our Viper hoods with our makeshift thingamajigs, right? And then we get the vegetation and we end up sticking it inside our thing. And I dress up Raptor and Raptor dresses up me, and he ends up making me look like a tactical Mickey Mouse. You can tell with the giant leaves up here, and I'm just like, yo, what happened? Like what's going on? So there's the proof at and I ended up wrapping the gun, the 416 America, with a ghillie wrap. So we met some pretty cool guys out there too, and we're just taking some quick selfies. Now, can you guys find Raptor here? I'll wait. He's right here. So So for those people that are always wondering, like if I would have waited to take this photo, and he was like right here by the tree or right here, you probably would have never found him. But yeah, so for those of you that are wondering why we decided to go once again tropic, I mean, just look at the scenery. There's Raptor looking up. So the way we would bound, either he would go first and then I would cross the ravine and then I would pass him and I would go ahead. And while I'm moving, he's watching, he's spotting, making sure there's no movement. And that we're gonna go really detailed when we start doing our classes on how to play the sniper and spotter mode uh, role. So I zoom back out. I end up crossing. Um, I forgot what this picture is about. I think I ended up shooting all these guys, and then they're on their way back to respawn. Ah, this is another picture of Raptor, who's looking down his sight, and I caught the glare off of the back of the truck. I end up, dude. So we're out there, and have you ever seen a uniform that actually starts grabbing stuff on its own? So there you go. There's my knee pad, and it's taking vegetation as we're in the suck. So this is on our way back home already. So it's just lots and lots of flooding. But here's some more pictures for you guys to see. So now I'm going to tell you guys some of the stories here. So Saturday, I ate a light breakfast, super light breakfast. For this type of terrain, you need to eat a good hearty breakfast. Because I ended up getting a headache. The temperature was great. It wasn't too hot. I had already hydrated a bunch. Um, but you need to eat. You need to eat breakfast because for those of you guys that are like, no, man, if I eat, it'll go right through me. Cool, whatever. It'll go through you, then let it go through you. But long story short, you need to eat because I ended up getting a really, really, really bad headache and I couldn't shake it, and I ended up taking a nap. Saturday wasn't too bad. We went up and down those hills. Um, we ended up sneaking up right on their fob, real close to their fob, and we ended up taking fire. And pretty much we just caught out, like once we crossed the ravine from our fob, we went up the ridge line all the way down, and we were just watching as people were coming in, and we were testing our shots. We would shoot, and it's like, cool, we can reach right here. And if we couldn't reach them, Raptor would radio in to command, like, hey, we see 5 guys, because that's what reconnaissance is, right? So you see 5 guys that are moving up. You got a support gunner. You got all of them are riflemen. Small squad, and they're gonna push up over the western side or the eastern side of the AO that we were in, and they're gonna push up the ravine in 3, 2, 1, and then firefight, and then you see those guys walk back, and then pretty much that's how much Saturday went. And we take some shots, but what really my thing was, what really happened, and it started from 10:30 and it didn't finish till 5, and then you had a night game after that. If you wanted to do the night game, and there was a lot of explosions at night, so that was pretty cool. But there's no breaks in between, so pretty much you have to pace yourself. So you have to make sure you have water on you. Make sure you have the total amount of ammo that you need. You need to make sure that you have everything that's on you ready to go. Again, Scar, we like to have everything that's on us without having to carry too much on us. But we want to make sure everything that's on us is everything that we need, so we don't have to go back and forth to the fob to reload, to do anything like that. For those of you guys that do that, I mean, that they also showed your stuff in the beginning of the evolution to the fob. So make sure you have a crate with you that's easily transportable to get onto the 5 ton, 7 ton, and they're gonna haul it to your fob, which was pretty cool about AMS that they did that, because you're really deep down in the woods and stuff, and walking back to your trucks was not a real quick option like we do at Battlegrounds. So again, make sure you have everything for the next one. Make sure you have everything that you need for that entire evolution, because you're pretty much pacing yourself, and people would leave and maybe they wouldn't come back after lunch, because you're pretty much making your own lunch and you're there. Um, Long story short, make sure everything's ready. So Sunday came around. Sunday, it rained from the beginning of the op all the way to like 5 minutes right before the op finished, and it rained, and it rained a lot. That was my element. That was Raptor's element. We were so like he's been wanting to play in the mud forever. He's been wanting to play in the rain forever, and once you got completely drenched, and then the helicopter came over the top, and they were doing their runs around the city and stuff, that whole Ghost Recon field just came to life, and it was really awesome. Uh, I needed that. I really did. And I'm gonna share with you guys something here. So you, a couple of weeks ago, I did an interview with Dom, the manager that here at Air 15, right? And I asked him, I said, "Well, dude, you've been doing this for 10 plus years. What's kept you in the game for this long?" And he was like, "Well, just the innovation, pushing through and stuff like that, changing the game, right? Being one of the pioneers of the sport, along with Air 15, you know, we're pushing the innovation." And trying to answer that question, because I have a lot of players that end up being anywhere between 6 months to a year and a half, and they just die off, right? And you forget why you get into this sport, and it's perfect because it's Memorial Weekend, right? And people forget why you get into the sport, and you just get caught up in the BS, man. You just get caught up in the don't call your hits, man. You don't do this. You talk all this smack online. You da 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 da. You do this, right, and you get caught up in all that. Oh, my gun's better than your gun. Oh, you're shooting high, or you're shooting too fast, and you blasting me, in zero meds, and you get so caught up in the that stuff, and you forget why, right? You're just end up falling out of the sport. So I'm trying to figure out what's up, right? Because I want my players to last forever, right? I started feeling myself, and this is something really, really important, because I started feeling like, you know what? Milsim doesn't do it for me anymore. The arena doesn't do it for me anymore. The war games doesn't do it for me. The outdoor field, that sense of hunger for the hunt, the thrill of the hunt, uh, shooting real steel guns didn't do it for me. I wanted more, and I'm trying to think about what can I do to add more to it, to more, right, and to try to push it further. And you forget why you got into it in the beginning, why you ended up creating a team, why do you end up creating friends, you know, and you do it because it's your break. It's your break from reality. And when you can't bridge that gap of emptiness, of wishing that you can go back, and Milsim or Airsoft, you uh, you got your buddies with you in airsoft, and they're going through the same crap that you are. And Sunday, Sunday, that's what it was about, man. So we're out there and it's raining and you're muddy and your shoe, Raptor's shoe was like getting smushed. He had like these grip, like memory foam. Well, the memory foam was like pushing up to his toes, and he's like limping and trying to like look cool at the same time, like, and he's in his element, and you're going through it at the exact same time, and you're creating this story. You're creating this moment in time that nobody else is gonna remember but just who you're with. And and dude, that's what I needed. I needed to feel that. And we're out there in the woods, and we're out there, climb the ravine and stuff, and we're doing stuff that nobody's gonna know about. There's no YouTube cameras, there's no hola mi gente going on. We're just in the shit, man. And I'm sorry to tell you guys like that, but we're in the suck and the shit. We're in there, and you're miserable. And dude, it's not just the fact that you're miserable. It's just your elements around you is miserable. You take this shot, you can't see through your sight. You take the shot, you miss completely, and the guys they're just looking around, and you're just like, what the hell? Like, is somebody shooting at me? And you, nobody else can tell that story but you and the people that you're with, and you're there, right? And at the end of the day, whether COS won, whether UFS won, it doesn't freaking matter, because it's the moment, the experience that you're there with. And dude, I mean, Solo ends up coming up on us, and he like freaks out, and we're like, get down, and you're caught up in the story. We don't even know the damn story between it, what's going on, but dude, it's that Ghost Recon feel where you're like, they're right there, they're like 10 feet away, and they get the hell down, and you're immersed into it, and people forget about that. They forget about immersing into, whether you know the story or not. You're in the experience that you're getting while you're in the arena, while you're in the outdoor field, whether you're playing at somebody else's field or you're playing in ours, or where you're playing at AMS or you're playing at Overwatch, or anywhere else. You forget to leave the shit that you're having at home behind. And you're just like, I'm gonna take it on this guy, I'm gonna take it on this guy, and my job is sucks, my this sucks, and that's what I'm gonna get to right now. So everybody ends up taking care of each other out there, man. Again, KWA they end up feeding not just us, not just Overwatch, they fed everybody. Like, they offered the food to everybody. They're like, hey, come on in. It felt like a family, man. And you forget, you really do, you forget, because and you need people like that. You need, those are the pillars of the sport. you know it's not about what the hell do I get for free. you know did I win at the raffle? Did COS win? Did UFS win? Did the Resistance win? Did the Mercs win? That's cool. It adds more to it, but you forget about the family, and AR-15 family, the Overwatch family, the AMS family, the Airsoft family, all the way around, right? And people forget, and it's Milsim, it's military simulation. You build stories. You build moments like this. You're miles away from home. You can't. I can't get online to do this. I can't. I can't get ready for the next event. I can't do any of that. So I'm stuck out there with Raptor, with everybody that's out there, and we're secluded away, and you don't have that access, that freedom to go back and to worry about the crap that's going on back home. You're there. You embrace the suck. And that's what it is. That's that feeling that I was trying to fulfill forever, for a long time. When you would deploy over to Iraq, when you deploy with your boys, and you're there for 9 weeks, 9 months, You're there for a year and a half. You're there. In the Marine Corps, everybody says, "Oh, you guys are supposed to be the scariest dudes in the world." Well, it's because we embrace the suck. They give us a crap, and we gotta make do with what we got. Memorial Day weekend, a lot of those guys are not here with us anymore, and um, we they would wish that they were in our place. We're doing this now, and civilians that never got a chance to do it. They grew up in families that they heard stories about it. This is as close as they can get to the real thing. You know, um, whether it's your background, it doesn't matter. Not everybody can has the ability to be able to go do what we did. Or go do what we do. And there's a lot of people that wish that they can, and there's a lot of people that wish that, like myself, that you can re-tap into that world at any given time, and you can. All you got to do is show up. That's it. Show up, embrace the suck, get ready for it, because it's gonna hit you hard. It's gonna hit you hard, and you gotta create the stories. Nobody's gonna do it but you. If it wasn't for Raptor to drag my butt out there to be like, hey man, you know what? It's cool. You don't want to go because you got a headache. I got this other dude. I said nope. I'm gonna take a nap, take these meds, and I'll be right back. Sunday morning, I was ready to fight, and I was like, you ain't making these stories without me, bro. And we did, man. And we went out there and we made stories. I ended up almost, I reached out for a Raptor. I was like, give me your knife. And there's two guys passing right behind him. And we ended up started shooting them, and then turned around and shot the other guy. The whole force came through, and they couldn't even see who we are, man. That's what it's about. Is creating the stories, is creating these war stories, these moments in time that nobody else is. You don't get awards for this. You don't get the recognition. That's fine, but you create these moments, and unless you get them on camera, unless you put that extra effort to get them on YouTube, ain't nobody gonna tell you, and ain't nobody gonna share that at the moments, but the people that were there with you. So sorry for getting choked up a few times. I didn't want to get too caught up in the emotions, but I just want to share that with you guys. As far as I needed this event, and it was perfect because it was a Memorial Day weekend. Everything just tied in, and I found my it. I found my reasoning of why I want to keep doing this for the rest of my life. Why I want to be part of the sport. Why I want to be part of the pioneers that are gonna change the face. Why? What is your why? What is your purpose? And this is it. He's creating these stories because guess what? You get caught up in the crap back home, you can tap into it here in Airsoft. You can buy these guns, you can deck them out however you want, you can show them off, you can do all this stuff, but until you get into the suck, none of that matters. Make the stories, make them happen. That's all I got. I want to just tell you guys real quick, I'm sorry. Don't forget, we got June 8th. That's going to be our anniversary thing. Stay tuned for more videos. I'm going to be dropping either this week. There's going to be a series of videos, and it's going to tell you guys the history of AR-15. Thank you so much to AMS. Thank you to Rogue One. Thank you to everybody that was out there. The Cost, the UFS, Overwatch, KWA, Elite Force, Amped Airsoft, all you guys, Redline, everybody that was out there. I appreciate you guys with the bottom of my heart. I love every single one of you guys for making this happen, for making me find my why, my it, my reasoning of why I want to continue this, why we want to push forward. There's a lot of things going on behind the scenes, and sometimes just because you don't bleed real quick doesn't mean that you're not bleeding on the inside, guys. Remember that. Take care of your friends, take care of your family, whether they're military or not. There's a lot of things going on in people's heads, and unless you get into there, you're never gonna know. Bring them to Airsoft. Let them release this. Let them play this part. Let them become something completely different, and then they're gonna open up about everything else. And that's what this weekend was about. That's all I got for now, guys. So thank you for watching. Let's go recon again soon. Yes, sir. We will. That's for damn sure. Gotta get down back to the roots. Thank you everybody for watching. That's all I got for now. I'm sorry I took up so much of your time, but from my family to yours, literally from our family to yours, live the game.
Don't forget, guys, that for every $20 that you do spend, you get a hole punch that validates towards a full day of admission.
And if you like that video, make sure to click the subscribe button or check out all the other videos below and hit the enable button for you to get the latest updates when videos are being released. Be sure to check out also our Facebook, our YouTube, Instagram, Twitter, all our other social media sites, as well as our website at Airsoft Revolution 15 to get the latest. So, from our family to yours, live the game.